Let's just high five each other first.
High five.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to our YouTube channel. We're kind of in hush-hush tones because our daughter is sleeping.
Yeah.
And
we don't want to wake her up.
We don't want to wake her up.
Naps are key.
Naps are key, so we're like right by her room. But hi, guys. Welcome back to the channel.
Yes.
You know, life is a little crazy right now, so getting on here feels like sometimes a little bit harder than it used to be when we just had one baby in our one-bedroom apartment in the sky. And so we're still figuring all of that out, but we're excited to just talk about waiting. In purpose. This has been just kind of rotating, and it's been like a circulation in my heart for you guys, and just how, well, one, we are waiting on big things from God.
Yeah.
We know you are waiting. I mean, if you are alive, you have a dream, you have something that you're hoping for and you're standing in faith for. And the thing is, waiting is not passive. Sometimes I think people use this phrase, it's like, well, if it's God, it will happen.
Yeah.
Okay, but what are you doing during this in the meantime? And how are you living your life? Is it in a way that is extraordinary and pleasing to God and may have nothing to do, say you want a husband, and it's like you're just living your best life, not waiting for a man, not crying about a man.
It's so easy to just be passive, like we said, just wait and just to not do anything else, not to look for any other opportunities for the Lord to use you, not to look to be a light, not to look to be the salt on the earth. In those moments when you're waiting, because you aren't, because you don't have that thing that you really want. And sometimes we want that thing so bad because we haven't got it yet. We want it so bad that that's all we become fixated on. And then we put that thing on a pedestal, and then that's like all you want. I mean, it could even become an idol, but that's all you want. And until you get it, you're just sulking in the background, you're just having an attitude, you're just not even willing to ask the Lord, like, what are you teaching me in this moment? Or what can I learn in this moment? Or what skill, what do I need to develop inside of me to be ready for when you bring this thing toward me, whether it's a job, a husband, a relationship, whatever it may be. But what can you be doing now in the meantime as you wait? As you hold on to that promise. I think like even those things that we desire, we feel are going to provide us with true definition, value. This, once I get this, then I'll be valued. Once I get this, people will love me. Once I get this, then I'm going to be like that girl. TikTok, that girl. But you know what I'm saying? Like, you have this vision, and I can do that too. Like, where I just think, oh, when I have the house, like, I'm gonna be doing this, and this. And the thing is, I've learned that, like, in this season, even if you can get something, doesn't mean that is what God wants for you right now. And because He wants the best, and He wants you inside to be your best. Like, I think people just forget about, like, it's all about, especially if you spend a lot of time on social media, it's like, wow, that person has this, and this person has that, and this person has this, but what's happening in the inside? So if you can, like, take this season, whatever you're waiting for, and really ask God, you know, there's that verse that says, seek my heart. Wait, is that it? Seek my heart. No. Seek first the kingdom of God. No. Check my heart. Like, search. Search my heart.
I don't even. Search my heart. Like, it's so raw and vulnerable to be with God in the moment where you're just like wanting everything like external, which those are good things, but just go, search my heart, God. Like, let this be a season where I can go into the next lighter, healthier, with a better mindset, like making decisions differently.
I think there's another aspect to it, like when you said earlier,
if I had this thing that's praying to God for, then I'll be able to do da 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 da. But in that time, you're wasting time. There's so much time being wasted in the between that when you get that thing, right? That you could be using to just do so much and just to grow and to just, like I keep saying it, be a light on this earth. We have so much opportunities every single day to be a light. Like we are light bearers. We are image bearers of Christ. So we have opportunities to impact somebody's life in a positive way every single moment. And we should always be looking for those moments. And if we're so fixated on what we don't have, we miss what we do have.
Exactly.
And what the Lord wants to use. Because the Lord's always looking to use who's ever willing, and he wants to use whatever you have.
Yeah.
And he's giving you all the stuff you need already to make an impact and be a light and to make change in people's lives and to be the big boss or the big, you know, the big influencer or the big whatever it is that you desire to be. Like, you could be that now where you're at. You don't need the thing that you're praying for. Yes, it's great to have it, but you don't have to wait until then to for your actions to line up with who you want to be.
Yeah.
Like if it's something like you want to go speaking and speak around at different conferences or speak around the world, and you should start doing that now. Start speaking, start a podcast, start speaking to whoever want to listen to you. Record yourself, speak to yourself, like record yourself and critique yourself and work on your speaking skills. Maybe start a YouTube channel. I don't know. Like, you could already be these things that you want that God's calling you to be without, even before you get all the accolades and before you get all the peanut gallery in the background cheering you on, like, yeah.
The peanut gallery?
The peanut gallery.
Is
or
the peanut gallery good, or are they?
Sometimes good, sometimes bad. But I'm just saying, like, why wait until God gives you that thing that you're praying for before you start to be who he's calling you to be, before you start making moves in that direction?
Yeah, you are, like I said, we're all waiting on something, but you are valuable today.
Yeah.
You are valuable to this world. If you have that thing or you don't have that thing. If you have that relationship, if you don't. If you have that friend circle or you don't.
You have that much money.
If you have that much money or you don't.
Finances.
It's like our gifts are inside. Like, God has already placed them in the inside. And he's telling you through us right now that you have everything you need to get started.
To get
like, I even think about us in this YouTube channel, y'all. Go to the first video. It was janky.
No, it wasn't janky. It was, we didn't know what we was doing.
It was janky.
But to be honest, we still don't know what we're doing.
Well, you can say that. I know what I'm doing. No, the point is, like, even during my single years, like, I didn't just, like, start a YouTube channel. In my single years, I was blogging. I was...
big blogger.
No, okay. I was blogging, I was shooting street style, I was like, whatever. That was a whole season of my life, but it was when I was single, and I got to do a lot of fun and creative things during that time, and I'm so glad I did it. Well,
you still do fun and creative things now.
No,
you're married too.
No,
it don't change, guys.
Okay, that is not what I was saying. The point is, we have to be living our life.
Yeah, live it.
Just like when I wrapped up blogging and I got more involved in worship at church, that's where I met Frederick. Like, I was just doing the next thing God was calling me to do. But I wasn't searching for you.
But you also were following. You were becoming what you feel like God's destined you to be. Like, you were chasing after that. You were like, okay, what's the next step I can do? Because you feel the Lord's called you to music and entertainment and worship. So you're like, oh, what's the next thing I can do? You didn't wait.
No.
That's all I'm saying. You didn't wait.
But I think people even are waiting, like, well, if I don't have an opportunity handed to me, then I'm not meant to do it. But, like, we live in a day and age, guys, where you can start anything for $0. Like, we live in the internet age.
You can reach and impact so many people for free, like you're saying it.
Yeah.
Like, you can reach, like, in 2022, there's so many, like, social media platforms or other forms of technology that you can use for your voice to go and travel further than your legs may be able to take you at this time, or your bank account may be able to allow you to go.
Exactly. I literally heard T.D. Jakes talk about one time where he was just like, if I was in your generation.
He got that deep voice.
You know how he talks. But he basically was like, if I was in y'all's generation, like the sweat and tears I had to do to get 3 people to hear me, and here y'all are just handed the internet. Like I would be on there, y'all be so sick of me. Y'all be so okay, I gotta get on TikTok.
So sick of it. Yeah, you do. But the sky's the limit, and you never know what God's gonna do with the little amount of oil that you have to put together. A little oil. You might just have a little. You might think you only have like maybe an ounce of oil left in your tank, and the Lord can make so many beautiful things out of the little that you have, or little you think you have. And in those moments, you may actually learn that there's so much more oil in you that you didn't even know was in there, but the Lord put it in there and just waiting for you to start moving in that direction, so you can start letting more things start rolling. You might see more things start happening, and more doors start opening up as soon as you start moving in those directions.
Moving and standing with authority in the season that you are. Not wasting the season that you're in. Like, if you're still sad about a season that's past, like there's a time to grieve about it, and then there's a time to get up off the mat and move forward. And we can all be there in our lives where we make excuses, or we're still rotating in our brain, like what happened to you, or what happened, or who left or did what. But like, this is a day that should be celebrated. It's just being intentional with the day, not being led by our feelings, or being led by, well, I don't have this. Like, you have more. You have the power of Christ Jesus living inside of you. That is what I've been reminded when I have this week felt so weak. Like God, I feel so weak. And the Lord's like, yeah, it's a great place to be in, because when you're weak, my strength, my grace is sufficient. Like, it is enough.
It is. And if you're in that moment, if you're in that space right now where you've been waiting and praying for that, whatever that thing may be, and you don't have it yet, as you make action steps toward moving that direction where the Lord is calling you, just hold on to that promise that God's given you. And we talked about this earlier with Joshua and how he wrestled an angel, because he would not let go until he got his blessing. That's kind of how you have to hold on to the promise that God's given you, regardless of how hard it gets, how bleak it may look, or how far away you may think you are from that promise that God's given you. That promise that God's given to you, hold on to it. Don't let go, like Jacob did, until you get your blessing, until you receive that promise that God's given you. Even if you gotta look a little crazy, just keep holding on.
Because I'm sure Jacob was like...
Yeah, exactly. Jacob was all over the place. He was wrestling, y'all. He was wrestling.
Literally, I read that we were talking about this morning, and it was literally like, y'all, Jacob wrestled God, because he's like, you promised me this.
And you don't wrestle. And the thing about wrestling, you don't just wrestle all nice and cuddly and cozy.
Well, I'm sure wrestling with God was not. He broke his hip was broke.
His hip, so that means he was doing some real physical actions, like not like holding.
And if you're wondering who in the world is Jacob, go in Genesis.
Oh, that's what it was?
Yeah, Genesis. Jacob is in Genesis.
I was look at the book of Jacob.
What?
I was look at the book of Jacob. Ain't in no book of Jacob.
Wow, we are not Bible scholars, so please do not follow us if you think we are Bible scholars.
But go read that story.
Yeah, so it just was so impactful this morning. I was just like, time out. You can be active and not passive. You can even release it to God, like, in your timing, Lord. But we are not to forget about our promises. We should even surround ourselves with people who will not let us forget about it, because there are those people who are just like, well, it didn't happen, so
I'm gonna let it go.
You know, and now you're 30, 40, 50, and
you could have been right around the corner to getting that blessing. So
exactly, and
hold on.
And so you have to hold on, because there is life-changing moments even in the faith in us, and even in the Bible it talks about, you know, these champions of faith. Like, some of them didn't ever see the promised land. Some of them never saw it, but it was how they were transformed in their faith, and that matters too. So, just guys, that's all we're here. Just know that we're standing with you guys. We're believing with you. I know some of y'all commented below and said stuff, but what is it, something that you feel like is the thing you're waiting for?
And you haven't gotten it
and
yet.
you haven't gotten it.
But you're still holding on and believing for it.
Yeah. We would love to stand with you guys on that.
And pray for y'all and join y'all in prayer, because there's things we're waiting on too. So
yeah,
you're not alone. Just know you're not alone.
So keep believing. I feel like we do have a common thread in a lot of our videos, but we just want to press in again that you should keep your hope alive. Yeah. And if that's the last thing you hear, keep your hope alive.
Hit that thumbs up button, hit that like button, subscribe, and we'll be back. We'll be back with another YouTube video.
And also the last thing, if it feels like life is hard right now, if it feels like something strange is happening to you, there's a verse that talks about it. God's in it.
There's a verse that talks about it.
There's a verse that
talks about it,
guys.
Bye!
And so there's nothing wrong with you is what I'm saying.
We'll probably put that verse below, because right now we don't know what that verse is. But there is a verse.
Okay, bye.